We have another huge NHL trade to talk about here today. The Vegas Golden Knights have traded Marc-Andre Fleury. Where is he off to? Will he report to that team? There's some more rumors floating around. We'll discuss that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have another significant, huge NHL trade to talk about. The Vegas Golden Knights have traded the face of their franchise and the current Vezina Trophy winner for top goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury, who has 1 year left on his contract at $7 million. He did have a form of a modified no-trade clause as well, and he's off to the Chicago Blackhawks, or at least we think Chicago has technically acquired him in exchange for a prospect, Mikael Hakkarainen. So essentially in the beginning there was rumors that the return was nothing, and then we learned later there was a prospect involved. However, this is a pretty significant move by Vegas, who's desperate for cap space. Now, as much as I'm not overly fond of how all this went down, I mean, Vegas, they kind of painted themselves into this corner, and to me the writing was on the wall when they acquired Robin Lehner and then extended him. I mean, when they first got Lehner, wasn't a big deal. It's like, okay, they want some extra goalie insurance for the playoffs. What better guy could they get of all the goalies that could have been moved? He was probably the tops on the market. He was a phenomenal goalie himself, so made a lot of sense. But then they extended him on that big contract, and I'm like, okay, now they have a lot of money tied up in goal. They're trying to look beyond Marc-Andre Fleury. Obviously, he had 1 year left on his deal, and if you look at his inaugural season in Vegas, and then he did start to decline. His numbers were getting progressively just a little bit worse each year. You had to think that maybe he was nearing the end, and would he be the guy to get them over the top and get that elusive Stanley Cup that they've been really in the mix for ever since they entered the NHL? And it looks as though George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon were thinking, okay, he's done a lot of good for us, but we need something more to look beyond Fleury, and when he's not going to be here anymore. So I understand why they were being aggressive. They've been very aggressive from the first day of being a franchise in the NHL. That's just how they are built and how they are wired. They want to win at all costs. But we also know that owner Bill Foley had a major attachment to Fleury and was very appreciative and grateful for everything he did for that franchise and the community and just being the face of it. There was a real love relationship there. Like, Foley was greatly appreciative of Fleury, and it was rumored last year they wanted to trade him, and he kind of blocked it, or at least that was rumored. And of course, we saw the whole image that Fleury's agent, Alan Walsh, put out on Twitter with the big sword going through Fleury like he was being stabbed in the back. Again, look how he responded. He comes back and has a phenomenal season and wins the Vezina Trophy. Now, of course, in the playoffs, I think he was a pretty amazing too. But it looks like when the games mattered most, as soon as they had the opportunity, they went to Lehner. They started with Fleury, and of course, they gave Lehner only like a few games, but when it was on the line, that's who they went to. I'm like, okay, this to me says Fleury is the odd man out. There's been a lot of speculation since the season's been over that one of them was getting moved. There was some talk about Fleury, some thought it was Lehner, but I always thought it would be Fleury. Just, it didn't make sense to move Lehner, in my opinion. But Fleury's off to Chicago, but there's already reports and rumors that his heart's not in it if he can't play in Vegas, and he's considering retirement. He may not even report to the Blackhawks organization. Obviously, we don't know how long of a timeline he's going to take to think about this, but it's possible that Chicago could have made an acquisition that might not even play for them. I mean, maybe he'll get motivated and fueled up and fired up and end up going to Chicago and having another awesome season, because it seems like when Fleury's back's against the wall and people are doubting him the most, that seems like when he plays the best, and then he's kind of slowly kind of tinkers out. That's what happened. Look at what happened in Pittsburgh. He was at the top of his game. They got won a Stanley Cup. And then things kind of started to decline. They had to go to Murray for 2 consecutive Stanley Cups. Fleury was given chances, but never could run with it like he was before. Goes to Vegas and then was totally rejuvenated. And then, again, starts to go down. And then as soon as he's given extra reason to be motivated, goes right back up again. And now look where he is. So it's hard to say, like, at his age too, like, how long can you bank on him? Like, at the end of the day, this is a shrewd business. Vegas is a shrewd place, really. Like, they want to win at all costs, and it doesn't matter about the name on the back of the jersey. It's about the logo on the front, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters to them. And there's a lot of people saying Vegas did Fleury dirty, and you know what, maybe they did, but it's just how it goes in business. Business can be difficult and shrewd at times. This is one of those moves that they kind of had no choice to make. They need help at center. If they're going to be a real legit cup contender, they need a top center. Now, I would suspect this might increase the likelihood of them going after a guy like Jack Eichel, who's still in the market. If not him, then somebody else. Either way, they need that centerman, and they're probably going to use that found cap space to go out there and try to get it. But let me know what your thoughts are on this trade. Obviously, it's kind of surprising in a way. I think no matter what, just because Flurry's such a likable guy, one of the most, valued teammates and, like I said, likable characters and people in hockey, that it's a little bit hard to not, have, a little bit of sympathy for him when something like this happens. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. He's off to Chicago. Will he report? Will he retire? If he's going to retire, he's going to leave that $7 million contract, on the table. And he's going to miss out on a big chunk of money. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll demand Chicago trade him. The story's not over with for right now. So let me know what your thoughts are down below, and we'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We will keep you up to date with all the latest off-season ongoings here. We get free agency coming up tomorrow. We got lots of trades that are still likely going to happen. And of course, we'll be producing content here every day through the off-season, 365 days a year. Stay tuned to Top Shelf Hockey. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news and rumors on all 32 teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.